See if we can complete this contract. So even though this contract is undervalued by 285 million, I'm still going to deliver it. I don't, even though Eve is everyone versus everyone, and you know, I do believe in market PvP, and I wouldn't fault somebody else for killing the contract and just taking the profit because they undervalued it so much. But at the same time, you know, it's not really my way of doing things. Then the guy messaged, pay attention to his contract values. I don't know. I'm not sure if I feel like the effort. So trust in the system and people, it's good too. Well, here's the deal. Like, the person didn't contract it to me with trust that I would deliver it. They put it up as a public contract. I just happened to be the one who grabbed it. And so it was completely luck of the draw. So, you know, I could get a potential client that contracts only me, except I'm not looking for that. And I'm not failing it, but I can tell you this. So they valued it at 1.1 billion and it's worth 1.4 billion. If they had valued it at 1.1 billion and the value was anything above 1.8 billion, I would have just killed it and I would have kept it. But that's for a different reason. It's not for keeping the profit, which the profit would be nice. It would be because the value was getting too high for what I was willing to fly. And so even this is higher than what I was anticipating. And if I had two contracts I picked up and it put me over, I'd be a little upset about that, especially if I ended up getting ganked. So I kind of have a rule that about 1.5 billion is about the most that I put in the ship here. If I'm getting up into the 2 billion range, well then I want to use a Weber, you know, or I'm going higher than that, Scout, you know, and if they had been that far off and it put me over my limit, then I would have canceled the contract, which would be a failure. I would take the product out of the wrapper, and then I would start transporting it up to Jita, where I would sell it or use it. And but I would do it in a couple of trips. And so and that's a little bit different. That's like when you screw up on making a contract and I take advantage of your screw up, that's one thing. But when your screw up on a contract puts me at a disadvantage or puts me at extra risk, then that's your screw up. And that's why I kill it. And so, and that's just kind of how I do it. Now, there are probably plenty of you that would just say, oh, it's like 285 million in profit is what I calculated, not including fees for, you know, posting the stuff up in the market or whatnot. So let's just say 250 million. But for 250 million, there's a lot of you that would just kill the contract. I mean, you know, no doubt. So, you know, and some of you would be like, I'm teaching that person a lesson. All right. I do struggle with being evil in the game because it's not my normal nature. And like, if I were doing business with somebody in real life and I went to pick up the shit, let's say I was driving truck or whatnot, I went to pick up the shit and they undervalued it by 10 times, some shit like that. A little bit I wouldn't care, but 10 times, would I steal it? No. Would I say it got lost in shipping? No. You know, I would tell them, and I'd make them pay me more for delivering it because it's a lot higher value. And I could have done that here. I could have said, hey, you undervalued this by 285 million. I want 100 million extra or I don't deliver it. But then I'm kind of an ass. Whereas when you are in real life in that situation, you could just give them their cargo back and move on. Here, you don't have that choice. If they fail it or I fail it, it goes to my possession. So, yeah, and real life rep absolutely matters. And in-game rep, not so much. But I do struggle with that because it's not my general nature. So, and have I failed contracts before to take what's inside? Yes, I have. So, you know, working on leveling up my asshole skill and taking the shit.
Warp drive active.
It's all good though. I'm gonna deliver this. When you were a teenager, you had no problems with it in real life? Yeah, I was a bad kid too. But I had a moment when I was younger that I decided that what people thought of me mattered, and I shaped up. So, I mean, a judge helped me shape up. I got in a lot of trouble as a kid. I was in court more than once. Yep. I'm lucky that I turned out to be a good, productive citizen. Look at all them Talos. Woo, butt clench time. Damn. Those are gankers. You ended up in the military as a police officer after having a troubled teenage years, getting in trouble. Yeah, well, you know, I think that somebody who has been bad and then figured out the proper way to be could be a very good police officer, because you know how to think both ways and you're empathetic too towards people who are making dumb decisions and stuff. I think that's really important, actually. You can't be empathetic for somebody that you have no frame of reference on how whatever they're doing applies to your life. You can be sympathetic, but you can't be empathetic. So I think there's a big difference. So all right, 13 more jumps to go. I don't know, I'm making 20 million on this trip. And so I made 80 million round trip. It's okay amount. I actually wanted to put a little bit more onto this and carry a little bit more, but because they undervalued the shipment, I wasn't willing to, because I wanted to pick up stuff in Heck. I've got a lot of stuff in Heck still to bring back, and I was passing through Heck, but with the value that we've got here, I decided not to pick anything else up, especially with right now the 75% drop rate instead of the normal 50. Have y'all gotten in on the giveaways? If not, exclamation point giveaway. Make sure you're in on all those. We're gonna be drawing one of those today in the live show giveaways. How long does that take, the average trip? Well, so this is going to end up being 3.5 hours round trip, and so 3.5 hours for 80 million, that's not very good money. But if you are doing it on the side, where you're like watching TV or you're working on something else while you're flying your ship, it's kind of a slow process, so you don't have to have, you know, super attention on it. Then it's a good passive income. If you're doing it as primary thing, well, then maybe you want to be running 3 or 4 ships at once. So, which I've done before. By the way, all of you running the giveaway command, follow the link. You do need to sign up for an account in our store, and that's how we limit it 1 per person. The giveaways are the live show giveaways. There's a bunch of them here. Once you have an account, you can add all of these to your cart. Check out as if you're buying something, but you're not really buying anything. It's not going to charge you any money. It's not going to ask for any money. And then, you know, you'll get an email confirming your entry on all of these. And then when they are drawn, you have a chance at winning, even if it's not today. So, like the last one of these skiffs that we gave away was actually 4 months ago. And so everybody who had entered in over a 4-month period was in on the draw. And so you may get an email from us today, or a couple weeks from now, a month from now, with a code that you won. So we do not require that you are here and present in order to claim your winnings. This is one of the really old skins. This was one of the first custom skins. This is Coiffé, the Obelisk. And I don't even know if you can get these anywhere. I think there's a Coiffé symbol on it somewhere, too. If I remember right. Yeah, right there. So... So once you've got an account in our store, then you just go there and you add all those to your cart, check out, and then you get an email confirming your entry. Somewhere on it, you didn't see it, it's right here. It says Coiffé right there when I zoomed in. I go space trucking. Been pretty easy today. Space trucking wise, the hauls have been profitable. Overall, for the amount of time spent in Eve wise, I could have made a lot more money doing something else. But that's how it goes. So I do both, Drake. I both run contracts and I, buy and sell. So, yeah. So when I'm running contracts, if I have stuff I want to move from, say, Amar up to Jita, then I would take some contracts from Jita, run them down to Amar, see if there's any contracts going back up to Jita that pay okay, and then pad other cargo space with some of the items that I want to take back up to Jita, but without going over limits of how much I'm willing to have in cargo value wise. So, and then I'm always out and around and I find other stuff that I forgot about that I bought, or that I parked a ship there that's worth $500 million or whatnot, and be like, oh, I forgot about that, and end up possibly picking it up, stuff like that. I have one system along the way that has a bunch of stuff in it that I'm seeing, but my value right now, especially with the 75% drop rate at the moment, my value right now is a little bit higher than I'm comfortable with, and it wasn't by choice. The contract that I'm running, they undervalued it by 285 million, and so I've got 285 million extra in value in the cargo hold that I wasn't planning on, and so that pretty much nixes the extra stuff that I was, you know, thinking of for you know, picking up some stuff along the way. Delta, Eve's going well. Never had any luck avoiding getting attacked? Well, yeah. I mean, this character hasn't been attacked in a long time, but I'm also careful about how much I'm hauling, what my fit is, how hard it would be for them to kill me. You know, figuring in all those things.
Warp drive active.
Game's beautiful. Yeah, and it just always keeps getting better. One thing about it. PCP does a good job of continually making improvements. Does a warp speed implant work in a freighter? Yes, both alignment and for greater warp speed. But I don't recommend it. I recommend using implants that give you more tank so that you have more survivability when somebody does attempt to gank you. Like the normal EHP on this is with level 5 skills is I think about 590,000, and I'm at 687 here with implants. So I'm at like 18% more EHP than if they scan me and what they see they need. I'm at 18% higher, and so they're gonna have to put in 20% extra ships, and normally they only put in a few extra ships, but they're gonna have to put in 20% more so that they in order to kill me, which means that they have to go to a greater expense and everything. They already see that I'm brick tanked and everything. If they're worth their salt, they've scanned both my cargo and my fit. And they may add an extra 10%, but seeing them add an extra 20%, I don't know, not really. Got flashies in here.
Warp drive active.
There, I've been scanned. You hear it? This guy right here in the Ibis. He scanned me in an Ibis. See him yellow boxing me? And he, then you heard the scan as well. Have I been in a failed gank attempt yet? Yes. I think that this freighter has survived 3 gank attempts. If I remember correctly. I'm going through anyway. I am confident in my EHP. So I'm going through the gate anyway. Now, if they're watching the show and they've decided that they want to gank me anyway, they now know exactly how much they need to throw at me. You know? That part, I mean, I could just not tell anybody that I have implants and stuff, and then I'd be a little bit more successful. So, need anti-kill marks for gank attempts? You bet they do nothing? Yeah, I bet they do nothing as well, because my EHP is very high, even by what they can scan, and the cargo that I've got, I'm not over my limits of what I think it is worth it for them to do. So, we'll see though. Here we go. Which implants? I'll show you here in a minute. There's a lot of people in system here. There's a few people here, but not really a problem, is it? All right.
Active.
There's another guy who's scanning people probably. He's moving at 0. Kestrel could be too. When they have no movement, it's not unlikely that they're scanning. Right. So for the implants, I have amulet, high grade amulet, plus these other two, the noble mechanic and the noble hull upgrades. And then I have this booster in too, which gives me another 3% EHP. It's not very much actually, but it's those boosters that they, you know, give us for free for logging in. Give me a little bit extra EHP. Okay, why not? Why not the event boosters for warp speed and agility? Because this is not a fast ship. They're just wasted. I am the absolute slowest configuration here. You know, I'm at 46, almost 47 seconds. I mean, sure, I could put in those boosters and I could get it down to like 40. But that to me seems like a waste. You know, if they're cheap and you want to run boosters to get you aligned a little bit faster and to make you warp a little bit faster, that's fine. But my primary focus is my EHP. That is my primary focus. The other stuff doesn't matter nearly as much. Yeah, if you can get the other stuff cheap and you can use them, you know, if you can get a 10% boost in your warp speed or whatnot, great. You know, you'll get there 10% faster. Well, maybe not 10% faster. You still have alignment time to figure in. So you'll get there like 7% faster or something. So are jump freighters safer to fly in high sec? No. You do not gate to gate jump freighters. There are some people who do. I 100% do not recommend it. A jump freighter jumps to a point in low sec, flies to one gate through to a station in high sec, parks there, and a freighter goes and meets them. That's my take on it. There are other people who will fly them into JITA. Not me. And they can get higher EHP. You can get up in the 800,000 range. Maybe even higher. Like, this is a jump freighter. No items in simulated cargo. Yeah, okay. So if I were to put bricks in there, so 667,000, maybe it's $1 million with my implants and with bricks. It'd be $1 million EHP. But you're looking at a 10 billion ISK hull. The hull is 10 billion alone, right? So, you know, told you can't jump freighters into high sec. You're correct. You can go through a gate. You cannot jump to a Sino in high sec because there is no such thing as a Sino in high sec. Yeah, the amount of ships required to kill a 10 billion ISK ship empty. A lot of times you'll see jump freighters that are 20 billion ISK kills, and it's because they got 10 billion in the cargo hold, which is not uncommon.
Welcome to the Dragons.
Donis just followed.
Donis, thank you for the follow. Welcome. That's one thing about jump freighters too. I do not worry about what the value is of what I'm carrying. I just don't. It doesn't come into play. Because if you do your jump freightering right, you are completely safe. Flying a jump freighter is the safest ship you can fly. Now, since the advent of the Lancer dreads, it's not as safe as it was, but my belief is it's still the safest. But that depends on how you fly. You always have a scout. You always know what's in the system you're jumping into. Even if that's you're going through a gate from low sec to high sec, you already know what's in high sec there. I have never lost a jump freighter. I almost lost one once. Never again. But I got into half hull with that anchor that I pulled up there. I got alphaed by a Nix at undock in low sec. And I should have recognized what was going on, but I didn't. So I had a ship light a Sino right in front of me, and bam, a Nix appeared. And then it targeted me and attacked. But I got docked up, so I made it out of there. But it got me into half hull. So yeah, so, you know, to deal with Lancers, you just make sure that there's nothing that's going to fire off a Sino around you, and there's no Lancers around you. I mean, seriously. Most low-sec systems, you can sit in a station and watch for when there's no one in local. Undock, light your Sino, jump, dock up. Simple as that. You don't have a constant of people always in system. It just doesn't happen. So you just have to be willing to take your time. If you are impatient, you will lose ships. If you are patient, you will never lose a jump freighter, ever. The only worry is align time. So that one was fitted for 15-second align time. Can I describe more about how Lancers work? So they're a dread. They have a big beam, kind of like the death rays from a Titan, and they have this ability to block people from docking and jumping. Yeah, they have the ability to block from jumping and docking. And so if one appears and you're undocked, you're screwed. But again, if there's nobody in system except for you, then who's gonna do that to you? Nobody. You just gotta be patient. You don't tell people what you're doing. You sit there and you wait, you watch, and it could take you a day. All you gotta do is just wait for nobody to be there in low sec. It does happen. It does happen. And if you're, really struggling to get that, then you do it right at server up. Except you do it before server up is announced. What I mean by that is that you can load up a client when the server's down, and when the server's coming back up and it tells you that you can't log in yet, it has a timer there on when you'll be able to log in. And it's before the launcher has a little green light saying that the server's up. And so you can get in a full minute, maybe 2 minutes before that green light comes on. And so you just wait for that. And then you go in and you have your other scout in there as well. And bam, you go.
Warp drive active.
I'm almost there. The idea of jumping the gate, well, you can check your demo scout. They usually have a broadcast of the gates.
drive active.
All right, we're going to deliver this one where they undervalued it. Be a nice guy. All right, we're gonna do a draw in a couple of minutes here. So final call, get in on the giveaways, exclamation point giveaway. We are gonna be drawing the participation trophy.
Welcome to the Dragons.
MRB0SS man just followed.
Mr. Bossman, thank you for the follow.
Welcome to
Welcome.
the Dragons.
Tixilic just followed.
For those of you who run the giveaway command, you do need to follow the link. You need to have an account in our store. That's how we control 1 entry per person, or 1 entry per item per person. So all of these here, you can get in on all of them. Once you have an account, you just add them to your cart. Check out as if you're buying them, but it won't ask you for any money or anything like that. And then you'll get an email saying you're entered in on all these, and then when we draw them, you'll be included as a potential winner. All right, we are flying into Jeddah now.
Warp drive active.
Play a little Eve song here. Eve of the Infinite.
In a universe so vast, beneath the starlit glow, we sailed beyond the earth, where the ancient wormholes grow. To New Eden we flew, with dreams in our eyes, in a galaxy new, under uncharted skies. Fly through the cosmos, in freedom we roam, building our empires in this starry dome. Eve of the infinite, space so wide and free. In ships we craft, from dreams we write our destiny.
From the minerals of moons, we forge our fleet and gear. In the silence of space, there's no limit, no frontier.
Through the star systems, over 7,000 wide, we claim the cosmos with our allies by our side.
The battles blaze in the void, echoes of strife. Titans fall and
Replay is now
rise
for Markee.
in the dance of cosmic life.
Espionage and trade, empires rise and bend. In the vastness of Eve, every star's a friend or enemy. This
to the pioneers. In the cold past expanse, where every star's a chance, in the great cosmic dance, Eve calls us onward to play our part in the endless, ageless universe of Eve.
All right, so we're going to do a giveaway now. Everybody should have their entries in. I've delivered the package. I didn't tell him that he undervalued it. I just went ahead and delivered it. So, all right, if you're watching on YouTube, that's it for this episode. See you in the next one.